episode of Girl, Let's Talk. I am Marcy Lynn Jackson, and I'm here with my girl,
Rachel Matthews.
April Gilbert.
Fatima Robertson, better known as Tish.
All right. And we are here to talk about all things life.
Yes.
And we've been enjoying it. If you have not watched our previous episodes, please do. I mean, they are, I don't know the word, but I'm telling you, you do not want to miss out on it. You don't. How you doing over here?
I am wonderful. I am blessed. I'm wonderful. I feel great. But I'm concerned about where we are going in this world as a country, as a people. You know, it just seems like, you know, with everything that has happened, it's just this snowball of events from COVID to, you know, of course, everything that went with COVID. And then now we're in, we have this inflation going on.
I mean, it's crazy.
And people trying to buy houses, and we're seeing where people, first time in 50 years that the average person cannot afford to purchase a house.
Listen to this. Okay, so, you know, I'm a YouTuber. I like to watch YouTube. True story. Yesterday, the heat had us taking a nap in between our errands. We really had like 110. We went brunch, had run some errands, took a nap, and then we went back out. But in that nap, I kind of woke up and was looking at YouTube, and it's this realtor that I follow on YouTube, and he was in Anna, Texas. Okay, and he was at First Texas Homes, and he's a realtor, and he doesn't represent these builders, but he held up their that price sheet, and it wasn't the builder's price sheet; it was the one that they give you of their spec homes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, it was about 12 of them on there, right? And all of them it went from 511 up to 568. Okay.
For a first-time home?
No, First Texas Home is the builder.
It's the builder.
I know, but First Texas Home is like a first-time
It's an
home.
entry level.
Yeah,
builder,
First Texas builder. Okay, so then my point. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
So 511. Okay, so the 511 was the least, and it ranked. The square footage was 2,200. And then the 565, which was the one that he was in, and he goes and he tours. That was 568, and that was like 4,200. Okay, now I paused it, and I got the number and I called the guy that's on there. He answered. Okay, so it must have been his sales. He was still the sales rep. He was there. So I was like, do you still have these homes available? He said, yes. I said, so what do you know? And so I said, well, tell me about them. So he goes to tell me about them, right? Now, that was filmed December 21. That was the other month, 6-7 months ago, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm about to choke trying to tell you.
Yes, stay with me.
I'm about to choke. So he said, our homes, the 511, the 2,200 square feet, he said they start at $785.
Ma'am.
Absolutely.
I said, he said, $785. I said, I'm looking at this sheet.
Home?
In Anna, yes.
I said, I'm looking at this sheet. He said, no. He says, no, I don't know. You must be looking at I said, it's on YouTube.
I said, it's old.
He said, he said it was, oh God. Okay,
I said, look at the date. Go look at the date.
Yeah, look at the date. Yeah.
How are people going to be able to afford
You
You can't.
They almost can't afford apartments anymore.
Yeah, you can barely afford an apartment.
One bedroom over 2,000.
Okay, so over in Rockwall, so Grand Homes now have June 6th, they did the $100,000 price decrease on all of their homes, but it's still in the sevens, right? And the point that I'm making is it's like this price gouge where they just really are just taking advantage. These properties are not worth this amount that they asking for.
Oh my God.
It makes me want to cry.
This is what I see. It would be different because the prices are going up, if they were matching the employment, if the raises,
that's what I was saying
if people are getting raises, if people are
yesterday.
making the money that will
with it,
that will allow for you to afford this type of home, but it isn't, and everything is costing so much. I mean,
pack of
I don't.
chicken,
Yeah, I don't. I don't.
No, right.
I don't believe that at this point that we're dealing with, issues from the pandemic. You know how things are sitting on the boat. I don't believe that's the case anymore. I believe it's an opportunity for people to take advantage. A pack of chicken was $20. A pack of wings. Like 18 wings was $20.
And what you used to pay for it, maybe $8 or $9.
Yeah, 6 something. If it,
it's just gas. Come on, we're not. That's the conflict in Russia and Ukraine. That's not affecting our gas. That's not. It's just the companies are taking the opportunity to really take advantage and make boatloads of money.
That has to be the case because I'm sitting here looking at a 7-month difference. There has been really no change as far as the economy goes between then and now, other than the interest rate went up. They are not offering any incentives, and they telling me that you did a $200,000 price increase.
Absolutely.
No, that's more than 200,000 because it's what was 785 was the ones that was 511.
Yes, and they are doing it because they can.
They can.
Ooh. That's just the bottom line. They're doing it because they can. Because even with the increase of rates, you still have more buyers than you have sellers.
It's crazy.
Because now some have, because of the interest rates, they've been knocked out. Some people just won't be able to buy.
So listen to this. April is our resident realtor. Okay, now all of us actually have real estate license. Okay, we do. We running packs around here. We running packs. Okay, play with your own friends. Get your own friends.
That was talked about during the pandemic. We was like, let's go find something to do.
I know. Like, gotta find something to do. Who gets a text? Hey, we finna all go get our real estate license. Now that's what you say when you say, hey girl, we put your clothes on, we finna come get you and go to the mall. No, they said, get your, we finna go get our real estate license. I don't want my real estate. Why, what?
Rent now. Sign up.
I just pushed go. Your turn.
Okay. Yeah. Where you going? I don't know, but I'm finna send you this link. That's where you going.
Yes. And you jump on it.
I let her did hers online by herself.
This
She just read her books, child. Now I be somewhere watching TV. I gotta go sit in class. My AD
you know what? When I have a lot of things going on, I do something. I have to be pulled in. But self-paced, I really could have probably. I was like, I'm reading the same sentence
over and over.
I didn't have time for it, and I love to read. We'll read. Actually, during the pandemic, while we sheltered in place, I read 52 books.
You did.
Between listening and really physically reading, 52 books.
Wow.
My Audible gave me a star.
Wow.
They give you awards.
No, you needed a crown.
You need, yeah.
Yeah, you needed a crown.
But I know I didn't finish that real estate that they said, Marcia, you didn't finish?
She got to wait till the end. She got to take the test.
I never did want to do that. I didn't want to do that.
But you did it because we did it.
I know it, but now let me tell you what I did do. Remember, I had my real estate license, and when my mom died, I let the license go, right? And I needed to take 2 classes because it changed, right? I did that. So then all I need to do now is just go take it. But your girl is getting her doctorate. Come on. Do I have to? How many things I got to read? But anyway, I'm gonna go do it. But anyway, what I was trying to say is April is our resident realtor. Okay, multi-million-dollar realtor.
Hey,
that's right.
That's
my friend.
I get your own friends. Get your own friends. You can sit with us. We're not tripping. We're not mean girls. You can sit with us, okay? But just come to the table with yourself.
But get ready to elevate because you're going
Get ready.
They work out. We get wore out around here. I mean, we may be cooking and talking about credit at the same time, okay?
Absolute same time.
Oh, at the same time. But April, what I was wanting to ask is, like, what do you foresee? Because yes, the interest rate went up. Like, what do you foresee happening with this? So if the interest rate went up in the housing market, the prices are not going down. I know, like, Grand Homes, I don't know if they're the leaders that just decided.
They probably raised the price and then put a cut on it.
But listen to this. They're still in the 7s. over in Rockwall. They was in the 7s with a price decrease, and then now they have these incentives.
So they're really not in the 7s,
what are they in?
the 9s. Because I'm actually in Rockwall.
Berry,
now selling.
is it Berry?
Berry Hill?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
They're
my
in the 9s.
gosh.
Ain't that crazy?
They're in the 9s.
Crazy.
So what, April? People that need an entry level home, what is going to happen? Are we creating a homeless epidemic that's around the corner?
I think we are, because what's happening is that the people who, so let's just say you could afford a $400,000 home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that might have been at an interest rate of 3.25.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So it
interest
made
rates are
sense.
5. They're 5 now, which means you can't afford that $400,000. It's gone down to maybe 350, 325. Well, ain't nothing out there at 325. There's
In South
nothing out
Dallas it is.
there. I mean, in South Dallas, but if you're, and even if you're in South Dallas, it's still, you're going to be picking over it, and that's going to create a lot of attention, a lot of want, because you're going to have more than one.
Okay, so what policies needed? Like, what are we facing? Is this, I guess what I'm thinking from a spiritual standpoint, like, is this a God thing? Is this one of those things that, where the Lord said 1,000 may fall in my side, 10,000 in my right hand, but it will not come, not my dwelling, and I have to trust the Lord, or is this like, it's either God or God. I'm not saying that it's not, but like, what is this thing that's happening? Because I don't think it's just in Dallas, Texas.
Oh no, it's not. No, it's not just in Dallas. It's
what
across the country. You know what I'm thinking? We are changing on so many fronts when it comes to housing, when it comes to our political climate, when it comes to
Don't even start there.
again, inflation, when it comes to all of those things that affect us, on a long-term basis, and that I think people really need to wake up. I think we as individuals, we as
Give me your
people
thoughts on Roe versus Wade.
She just slumped.
Right.
She's our resident realtor, but she's also our resident. She works for CNN in our head. When the elections was going on, I called April and her husband Ed. I wanted to find out what are they saying. She's our correspondent.
Roe versus Wade, I believe Ruth Bader is turning over.
In her grave.
Sure.
Did you see
is
that? Okay, so did you see
turning
the
over.
big? Have you driven downtown and saw the big on the Central Library? And she says we have work to do. They have this huge.
I haven't
or
seen
just
it.
drive by there and see it.
Oh,
But
wow.
in what I noticed is her name is not on it.
Really?
No, it's her though. And that's what she said.
Wow.
But it says a statement, and it's funny that you would say that that's what she would be doing, turning over in her grave.
I believe
this is
she is.
so it's a policy. So a lot of things that are happening will affect us in what way? Like Roe versus Wade, where we may think that that's a simple thing.
Yeah.
And as a Christian, let's talk.
As-
Girl,
you know
let's
what?
talk.
Yes.
Let's talk.
As-
Tell me, because
you know
as a
what?
Christian,
And I am a Christian. I
Okay.
am. So I believe, especially the church. I heard a minister say this, that, Christians might be, they did it.
And
But
they are.
what is the church prepared to do? Because since this has changed and passed, is the church going to take care of these babies now? Is the church going to make sure that people can foster adoptions and get adoptions passed more? What is the church willing to do because of this decision? Just because the decision has been made, what now? Because, I read the most heartbreaking thing from a doctor in Ohio. He was a child abuse doctor, and a 10-year-old had been raped. She was 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant, which meant she could not get an abortion. So what do you do? What do you do with that? I mean, and
I was talking to Chris and I said to him, he was asking me, he said, so you're a Christian, what do you think? I said, every last one of my sisters will be dead. Because every last one of them had a tubal. They would have died. Here in Texas. And I have 4 sisters, I'm number 5. every last one of them, I would not have right now. If they got pregnant right now and that baby was in their tubes and they needed to do a DNC, they would. And so like I would with a tubal, they have to have unstable vitals. But then it's like a luck of the draw if I could save you, if I let you get to that point. And then even with that, your vitals are the pain of a tubal is so excruciating. How do you survive through it? You die from the pain.
Typically don't, yeah. You typically
So
don't.
what are we saying then to the church? Like what are we saying? Because I do understand this as a Christian. I'm a Christian. And I've just cringed because I'm like, not cringed in fear, but like, what next? But if someone were to ask me what would be my thought as far as abortion, listen, we all know what the Word of God says. I'm not supposed to be overeating, and okay, and so, but what I do believe in is my choice.
That's the
That's
point.
the
And my
point.
free will.
That is the
Because
point.
God gives you
because
the choice.
God gives us
He works
a
off of free
choice.
will.
In his sovereignty, he gives you free
a
choice and free
choice.
will, right?
That's the whole point. He set these laws in motion. He said, "This is what it is. Go, be fruitful and multiply. Take dominion. Do these things, but don't do this, and don't do this, and stay within these perimeters, so that we could enjoy, the fruits of our labor and all of that. But we had choices, even in that. And it's like I think that it wasn't his. I don't believe that it was for me to judge you. I know that it wasn't. Even with our, I say LGBTQ
Community.
our community, or I don't know, all the acronyms. It's not for us to judge or put them in the heaven or hell. We all know what the word says. I think we do. Even non-Christians know what the word says. But what happens with the judgment and what happens with the gray area? That's, to me, where you get to play in God.
Exactly.
We don't get to do that.
We don't get
And
to
only
do
God
that.
sifts the wheat.
Yeah, only.
Only.
And then
Only.
he said this: let them grow together.
He did.
Let it grow together. Don't plug it up. Let it grow together. I think that's what worries me, because I'm wondering, what are we undoing when we do this?
I believe that we are. I think we're kind of playing with Pandora's box, because now that it's this, what next?
Because
What are they going to do next?
So when they say, okay, so we talked about it. So it's Roe versus Wade, and we overturned that. A woman cannot decide on how she is to be able to
Operate her own
body. What else?
Oh,
Because if you take that, then it'd be easy to take some other things.
Oh, they're trying to
they're trying to-
whitewash
yeah,
education. They're trying to say that
education,
slavery is
yeah.
now
When you
involuntary.
say whitewash,
They're trying to clean it, to make it more pure, to make it be not so aggressive and not so volatile. They're trying
right.
to say that
so
slavery,
so that they don't offend
exactly, anyone.
anyone.
But it's our country's history. Let it be known. Let everyone know, and then let everyone make a decision from there. Because
there.
now they're trying to say that slavery is now should be termed involuntary relocation.
oh God. You know, Chris and I, that's my ace coon to the boom. He and I was talking, and I was saying that I was sharing with him the Me Too movement, the TOO, and the Black Lives Matter movement. And I was sharing with him the words that are used there, that it is not indicative of excluding someone else. It is including
Absolutely.
that thing.
Yes.
So if I'm including it, I am already automatically saying that this is included. So it's not, I'm not saying Black Lives Matter
More than.
I am saying with.
Right.
So he was like, oh, we had that discussion. And if I'm saying me too, I am saying I matter too with, and I think that, how many of you have seen that Jennifer Lopez's halftime special on
Her documentary.
Netflix, the documentary on Netflix? Okay, anyway. Well, during that halftime, what she did was, during that time, the children was in the cages Trump had immigration put the
Oh,
children separated.
yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Separated the kids, and they were in
Yeah.
cages, right? And so in her halftime show, she wanted to have them in. She wanted it to be a soft message, but to show that we matter. And so she wanted the cages on the floor, the field, right? And it was about 18 of them, and the kids were coming up singing. Anyway, it was a beautiful expression. I loved it. I didn't even realize that it was done. That's why I like to watch documentaries to find out the story behind it. But the higher ups at the NFL who were at that, they were Trump supporters, exited and said that they cannot do it. It was the day before, and she said, "I don't care what y'all do. Make sure that you don't change this. We're not changing nothing. We just won't come back.
Right.
We doing this." And so they were saying that it was gonna showed all the headlines of what people said about them having those cages out, but in the end, it ended up unifying us and spoke for women and women's rights and children, and what that did to our society to inhumanely treat those children. But it's the thing is that we do these things, and then we hide our hand. I don't want you to see, the atrocities of my nature. It has been said before, and then you guys chime in, and then sadly to say, girl, let's talk. Gonna have to wrap it up. But do you know, for a slave owner to be a slave owner and do the things that they did, studies have shown the psychological damage that it had to do to them to be able to do the things that they did. So for me to beat you like this, it had to have done something to my psyche. To treat you, you have 2 arms, 2 legs, you're breathing just like me, but to treat you as an animal, what did it do to me? It dehumanized me to treat you as a non-human. And so for that, then I have to cover it up, because it is bad. It's a terrible act that I committed. So I don't want you to see my nakedness. So then I'm gonna whitewash it, like you said.
Absolutely.
Involuntary
Relocation.
They don't like that.
girl.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened. That's not what
I want to
happened.
leave us with this. What's in my spirit and that I hold on to, because for people not to be able to afford almost $1 million on a first-time home buyers, which was in the 100,000s. You could get you a good, nice home. Mm-hmm. That was the whole point of it. We haven't experienced what could come of all of this. Sure. I said the scripture and I flew by it, but I want to revisit it. When the word of God says that 1,000 may fall at my side, 10,000 at my right hand, but it will not come my dwelling, was to say to you to be confident in this, like David said. And this was what I will seek after, that I will dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life and inquire in his temple. And what that's saying to you is, do not worry.
That's a whole podcast in itself.
Yeah. So if I don't have the answer today, the answer will come. If I am I'm in the home buying situation, and I told, my loved one, we haven't found it yet, but we will. It will come to us. Mm-hmm. Our thing is to be looking, so that, or to be open and available for it. It's one of those things that if your prayer time was 5 minutes and praising the Lord on Sunday, and you go brunching with your friends the rest of the day, and you never revisit him, you're going to have a tough time in this season, because there are no answers, and we don't really know what the other hand is doing. So you have to be in a position to hear what your next move is. And our God is a strategic God, and he says that I'm going to bring you into all knowing.
Very much so.
So if 1,000 may fall at my side, in other words, I don't care if the gas prices are high, I don't care if the house market is going up, and I don't care if everything is inflated, it will not come not my dwelling. All my needs will be met.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Girl, let's talk. Thank you guys for joining us in this episode. It has been an honor to be able to do this with my girls. I love them. And I want you to experience us like we do. We have really good talks, and we want you to be a part of it and encourage you to do the same. Go Be friendly so that you can get friends, right? All right. This episode was brought to you by our resident realtor,
April Gilbert. Yes. My name is April Gilbert. I specialize in the Dallas, Fort Worth, North Dallas, Fort Worth area. And, you know, for me, it isn't solely about money. I want to just be able to help someone in whatever way that I can. So just, you know, I can be reached on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at Gilbert Properties Group. Love you all. Have a good one.
All right. Until next time.